Welcome back to my channel. My name is Tatiana. I'm a business coach and mentor for women wanting to start their own stationery businesses, get out of their own way, and really start living for just what they really want to do in life. And I'm so excited you are here. Today I wanted to do a Q&A. I actually asked about a month ago. I was looking back on my community tab, and yeah, it was just 4 weeks ago when I asked for questions for this Q&A. So I'm excited to answer them and just excited to be back. I mentioned in my previous video that I took a bit of a break just to live life and to just process and just, you know, do the things that you have to do when you just have a lot going on. And so that was kind of what was the delay on me doing this Q&A video, but I'm excited to do it with you guys. So the first thing I want to say beforehand, I have a couple of really good questions in here. If you do think of a question that you would love for me to answer that I didn't get a chance to answer in this video, definitely comment down below and I will make sure to do it. I'm going to try to at least do one of these Q&A videos about every other month or so. I think that's good just to see if there's any questions or anything that I've missed. I have done a few previous Q&As in the past as well, a lot more business focused ones, so definitely check those out. I'll make sure that they're linked down in the description for you. And so yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. So the first question is, when it comes to printers, which do you find works best for high volume printing if you're printing notebooks or journals at home? Okay, cool. So I think for me, I have found a lot of consistency and good quality with Canon. I have both of my printers that I use for my business are Canon. I have a Canon laser printer and a Canon inkjet. Specifically, I would say if you can get the Pixma, when I'm talking about the inkjet, I have the Canon Pixma and it's really good. The quality is great and I love to use that really for things that I want the color to just be like the bomb. So, you know, like especially if you are doing your own planners or journals, the cover of your planner or journal would be a great thing to print on the inkjet printer. The laser printer I have, it actually does also do color and black and white as well, but I just really like the quality of the inkjet for the color. So I think I would just say Canon, check out the Pixma series, and then the laser one is an Image Class series, which I think that might be what just the name of their things are. I'm not really sure. But yeah, that's what I would definitely recommend. And the reason for the difference with the laser printer, I've shared this in previous videos, but the laser printer is nice if you are going to be planning on printing something that has a ton of pages. So if a planner or a journal, for example, like my planner is 312 pages. So printing something like that on an inkjet printer would take a while. Typically, most inkjet printers are just not going to spit something like that out quickly. Whereas the laser printer, it's designed for more heavy duty printing and things. And so stuff just prints a lot faster. So that's really the reason why I have two different printers. But if you could only get one, I would probably say try to get a laser printer that has both options for you, because I feel like you'll be able to cover your bases quite a bit with that. And for a really long time, I only had a laser printer, and I used to print my sticker kits on there, journal covers and different things like that. And then it wasn't until maybe like a year or so after that I ended up adding on the inkjet printer. So hopefully that answers that question. Okay, so the next one is, what print-on-demand company do you use to print your notebooks? Could you do an updated tour of your office? Do you see yourself? This is a lot of questions in one. Okay, so let me pause for a second. So the first one, what print-on-demand company do I use to print my notebooks? I use a few different ones. It depends on what notebook. Some of the things I do make in-house as well, but I have shared before that I really love Stationery HQ. It is one of my absolute favorite places to get not only just notebooks, but I've gotten cards made from them. They have really great notepads and just different things. Like their quality is really good. They have different size notebooks and journals. Okay, yeah, so these are two journals that I have gotten from them. For example, this was a mother journal that I did a few years ago with my mother collection that I had. But this, the quality is just so good. It's just this really cute little mini notebook. And it has the white wire O binding on there. On the inside, it has lined pages, but you could even, sorry, it's kind of bright. There we go, lined pages in there. But you can even, I believe, get this one with blank. If I'm not, I think you can get blank or lined pages, and you design the front and the back cover on these. And then I also have this hardcover one from them as well, which this is one of my favorite notebooks that I had some years ago as well that I really like. And this one has a dot grid in there, but you can also pick from different options like lined, blank, or dot grid pages in there. So I would highly suggest checking them out. They have really good quality, and they're one I've been using pretty much since almost day one of me having my stationery business. Okay, so also, could I do an updated tour of my office? So I kind of actually did share a bit of some of the updates in my office in my video before this one, which was what's inspiring me right now. So check that video out. I just kind of gave a quick little overview of the office, but what I will do is like kind of actually clean up then and just get everything in order as far as that. And then I will definitely do a full tour because I didn't go super in depth. I just kind of showed how I moved some things around and added a few things. So office tour will be coming soon. And then the last question on here, do you see yourself extending your stationery business or starting another business venture? I'm gonna have to do a whole nother video on this. Like, some of my clients know this and definitely people in my personal life, but I have been having this battle of what is next for my stationery business. It's not really the easiest thing to talk about because I still don't really have full clarity around what I'm doing, or even more so, I think I have the clarity, but I'm fighting it. And I'm just, kind of questioning, like, is this really what you want me to do, God? Like, so one of the things I do have as far as a venture, I do have my business coaching business, which is kind of the main thing that I do majority of the time, is helping other women to start their own stationery businesses, helping to get that idea out of their head and turn it into an actual concept, something that you physically are holding that you can sell to customers. I help women to set up their Shopify stores, running their businesses, coming up with their launch strategy. That's what I do, and I absolutely love it. So that is definitely another venture outside of the stationery business. But my stationery business is getting kind of a change to how it's going to be operating, and I, in this quarter two of the year, am just kind of falling into accepting this and kind of running with it, and hopefully we'll be able to share more soon of what exactly I mean by that. But another thing I'm actually doing, since she did ask, I am going to also be offering design services as well. This is something I used to do before I had my daughter. I used to do web design and graphic design as my business, even before coaching and all of that. And I'm bringing it back as like an additional kind of layer of the Inspire Blueprint, which is my coaching business. So that's more to come on that. So if you are in need of help with like getting your Shopify store set up and you're kind of wanting me to do it for you, or if you're needing some design work done, whether that be like branding type of design, or specifically I need help getting my journal or planner pages designed, that is something I'm going to be adding on. So I'm excited about that. So that's a little bit of some of the things in the works, and more to come as far as the stationery stuff. That was a really good question. Okay, so another question on here is, when creating a journal or planner, do you need a copyright page? And could you give an example of what to include? So I've seen and heard a lot of different things over the years. I think it really is going to be up to you. I think that it never hurts to have a copyright on there. I don't think it necessarily needs to be an entire page, but just being able to put that on there, like the name of your journal or your planner, and with the copyright symbol, just showing like, this is my work, this is my stuff, don't be trying nothing. But to officially copyright something, you just putting it on a page and your product is not actually copywriting it. You actually have to go through copyright.gov, and that is where you can get your literary works, is what they call it. So like your planners, journals, even like books you might write, things like that, you would get them copywritten through there. You can even get images copywritten. I've gotten my Bun Girl copywritten and things like that. So you have to kind of get on there. I'll link down below the website in the specific area to go to read a little bit more about how to actually get it started. It's fairly inexpensive to do, and I remember, at least at the time when I was doing it, you could actually do like 10 things at a time. So like you can copyright online courses, you can copyright websites and all of these different things if you want to, but just having a page is not technically like, oh, this is protected, but I think that it doesn't hurt to do that. But taking that extra step, if you're really wanting to make sure, I would say to check out copyright.gov and get it set up. And it usually does take, I don't know about now in the time of everything taking way longer than it used to. I think it took a few months for me to get response back and get kind of like my official paperwork on it. So I'm not sure what the time frame will be of how long it'll take, but I feel like the fact that you submit it and you get it in there, kind of similar to like a trademark, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm not giving legal advice, but I feel like I kind of view it in that way. You know, when you get your trademark, you can kind of put like the TM symbol, you've registered it, you haven't actually gotten the okay to put the R just yet, you know, because they have to process everything. But I think that just putting that little copyright symbol really does just give you that little extra layer until you can get officially done. So again, not legal advice. I'm not an expert on this at all, but that's just some of the things that I've heard and seen and done myself over the years. Okay, so the next question, how can we get educated on taxes? Where can we sign up for class? Thank you. Okay, this is a really good question, and someone else asked another question. Okay, so another question, actually, this is kind of related. Do you charge sales tax? And if not, do you have to be tax exempt in every state? So I do feel like with this, again, I'm not an expert, but what I'll share, especially in terms of just how to get educated on taxes. I actually took a course, who is now my accountant. She has a course. I'll actually link that below as well for you. I took that course a couple years ago. It was more like catered towards service-based entrepreneurs, but I'm also going to link something down below that I was using before. I'm kind of all over the place with my thoughts, but let me backtrack. Okay, the reason I had to backtrack is because for a really long time in my life in general, finances, taxes, money, math, all of those things just are a turn off to me. And I don't know, you tell me if you feel the same way. It's just always been a turn off to me, but it's something that is extremely important, especially when you are running your own business. And so one of the things I would suggest, check out the links below that I'm going to put down there. There's one company in particular, I believe her name is Paper Spark. She was the first one that I kind of really started learning about like taxes from. She does challenges throughout the year. She has spreadsheets and things that you can actually purchase that you can use to manually input your sales and things from Etsy and Shopify. Like, it's legit. And I used that for a few years. So I would check her out. I'll see if I can find like a code or something to get a little bit of money off on it, but it's really good for that. And she does a lot of just educational content to help you, and I think that's great to learn about. I personally wouldn't suggest watching a ton of people, because what tends to happen, at least for me, is that when you watch like all of these different people talking about how to do things, it gets more confusing. So I would just find one person. If that person resonates with you, I would kind of stick with their method, stick with what they do, and just kind of go from there. There's so many amazing accountants out there, and I just think definitely taking a moment to just kind of research and see someone that maybe even specializes in talking about like product-based business taxes and things like that, because it is a bit different than services. So anyway, then it was maybe a little bit after that, once I started my business coaching business and started to see the income from that, and was really when I was like, okay, this is a bit more than I can manage. Let me go ahead and invest in a course. So that was when I signed up for Brittany's course. Brittany's my accountant. And she recently changed her name of the course. So I'm going to try to see really quick what it's called now. But her name is Brittany Subtle. She's a CPA. She does my bookkeeping and my taxes for me. And y'all, like, I mean, yeah, like she's basically like my virtual CFO, essentially, like it says on her Instagram. She does everything. Like, I just submit my stuff at the beginning of the month, and then she categorizes it, and she has this beautiful dashboard. It shows like the income so far for the year, the projected income for the year based off of the trends of the months. And she'll tell me like, oh, your spending is going great. Oh my God, you had an exciting month. Or, okay, you need to watch this, or this could be better. So working with her has just really taken a lot of it off of me, because like I said, it always makes me really anxious thinking about like money and taxes, because I'm not really educated in that. And I've come to the realization that we cannot be good at everything. Like, as much as I am a person that always says like, do it yourself, go get it, and all of those things, there's just sometimes as business owners, we cannot do it all. And this was one of those things where I was like, as soon as I have the money to do it, I'm going to outsource this, because I want to make sure that it's done right. But her course now, okay, here it is. So she changed the name. It's now called Prosper Simply. So again, I'll have it down below. And she has like different courses and things, but I ended up taking her course. It was called something different a few years ago. And it was just really nice. It gave the basics of how to set up your LLC through your state, how to get your EIN number through the IRS, and then how all that stuff makes sense together, and then how to bookkeep for yourself. And it was just really, really good. And then she also touched on how to file taxes and things. So check that out if you are wanting to DIY, or check her out if you're just needing the services. I'm not sure if she has opening for clients right now, but I'm still going to just plug her, because she's amazing. Like, I love working with her, and she just makes it so there's no stress, like, at all. There's no stress about that anymore for me. Okay, so moving on to the next question. Oh yeah, do I charge sales tax? So not really, only on people that are in my state. And that's something that, again, that Brittany had kind of educated me on and worked through. But I only charge sales tax if the person is in New Mexico and they're either getting like coaching from me in New Mexico, which has not happened yet, or if they are purchasing a product from me in New Mexico, which that has happened on quite a few occasions, and they'll get charged sales tax. Now, I don't know if that's going to be the same for your state. So again, I would definitely get with an expert and see, because every state has its own rules and regulations and things to follow. So definitely don't take what I'm saying as exact, but that's what I do. Okay, so the next question, let's see. Would your course still be helpful if we want to create only journals and not planners? Could you go over what is included in this course? Yes. So there's really a couple of different ways to work with me, but I believe she's talking about the Handmade Planner Masterclass, and I know that's the name of it. At the time, I was just really talking about planners, but then I was like, well, you can do journals too. So the course is really designed to help you take whatever concept idea you have in your head, whether it be a planner or a journal. Specifically, if like a guided journal, if you have prompts and things in there that you want people to be able to fill out. And I help you to organize those ideas, turn it into something that is now an outline that you can use, and then you learn how to design those pages, and then you learn how to put it together, put the physical product together. So how to bind it, how to print it, how to design it, and what InDesign is what I teach. So that is what the course is. It is for planners or journals, so both. And it's really just like a one-stop shop for all of those things. Now, if you are looking for help with launching your business, getting more in depth with your business foundation, as I call it. So like your mission, your purpose, what do you want to do? What do you want to launch? What do you want to create? If you're needing help with different types of products like stickers or notepads or a subscription box or things like that, that is where one of my more closer knit services would probably be better. The Handmade Planner Masterclass is a completely self-paced course. So you would go through the course, all the videos are pre-recorded, you would watch them, you would get the full process and read through. There's like a mini workbook, there's an ebook in there. There's a couple of like done for you templates and things as well. That's the Handmade Planner Masterclass. But if you're wanting more of like me being right here, us working together, getting close and really helping you along every step of the way to launching your business, that would be where I would suggest setting up a kickoff call with me so that we can talk about some of my different services I have. Because I have like a bigger program called the Inspire Blueprint, but then I also have these creative intensives as well. So if you are looking for more help, that would definitely be what I would recommend for that. But for anyone that's just like, nope, I just need the process on how to make my planner or journal by hand, and that's it, the Handmade Planner Masterclass is designed for that purpose. Let's see. I think there's about 2 or 3 more questions. Okay, so marketing tips, how to niche down. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for supporting me. Yes, marketing tips. That's kind of broad. I guess That's kind of hard to say. Well, niching down, let's start with that. I think if I'm specifically talking about the stationery industry itself, I think it's important to find something to make yourself stand out and be unique. And I say that because there are a lot of people out here doing very similar things. And it can get very easy to feel like cookie cutter in a way. And so if you're able to just find even like just that one small thing that just kind of sets you apart, I think that it's just really helpful. So for me, for my stationery business, I think like Bun Girl is kind of like my thing. She just is a classic thing. I don't think no matter how much time goes by, I think it's something that I can continue to have and offer from time to time. But there's so many amazing shops out there where they have kind of like their thing that they do, and you kind of know that that's what you can find with them. And so even if it's like multiple shops kind of have that thing, it's still like they are very unique in their way. So if you have like a signature product or something that's kind of a little bit unique or a bit of a spin on it, I have a lot of clients, which I'm not going to share any of my clients' ideas, but a lot of them are doing some very unique things. And it might be like, even though this industry is out there or there's a specific person that is out there, you're designing this one thing that is just for them, right? So even like if you're interested in creating a planner, let's just say, for example, if you're interested in creating a planner, but there are thousands of planners out there already that are just kind of just your basic run-of-the-mill, here's your calendar, here's your weekly pages, boom, here's a couple line pages, like very basic. Okay, maybe take it a step further and think like, okay, what kind of planner could I create for someone that is very specific to this pain point, to this problem? Maybe there's none or just a few out on the market. What is something I can create for that person? And so that's kind of even like when I created my Live, Love, Inspire business planner, I really was thinking about that, because initially I was just going to do just a normal planner. And I decided to create something for myself that I felt was missing, like there was a bit of a void. So that's what I would suggest in terms of niching down, is to just really think of like, what pain point can you solve? Even with it being a stationery business, there is still a solution out there that you can be solving for people to make things easier for them. So really knowing your target audience, knowing why your business is here, who you are serving, what is their pain point, and how to market to those people by creating the products that they need is key. Like it's very, very key. And in terms of marketing, I think the biggest tip I would give for that is to just always provide value to your audience as much as you can. Meaning, don't just always talk about like, hey, this is for sale. Oh my gosh, I got this going on. Did you know you can get 10% off? You know, those things are great and you got to run a business, but try to think of how you can connect with your audience in a way that is really speaking to them, where they can be like, oh, wow, I really feel like this business really understands what I'm going through. They really connect with me on this level. I'm really struggling with XYZ, and they just keep fishing out the tips and the life hacks and things for me to get through this struggle that I'm having. Let me go and check out what kind of products they have. So just taking it a step further, if you are into journaling and you know you want to create different types of journals with prompts in there, then maybe really focusing on someone, if they are like really in their head, it's really hard for them to focus, they feel overwhelmed, they don't know what to do. You're going to speak to that pain point of like, I know you're feeling overwhelmed. This is a very simple thing you can do for 5 minutes every single morning. Let me show you in a reel. Let me show you going live. I'll talk about it. Let me show you by giving you this freebie to join my email list. Let me show you by, here's a product that I created for this exact thing, because now you've learned about it and you just kind of become a routine, and now you're maybe wanting something to walk this out every day. I have this for you. So really just kind of thinking about the journey of the relationship you're building with your customer, who they are, what's their pain point, and how you can keep touching them every step of the way to the point where they will finally be like, okay, she really knows what she's talking about. She's giving me all this value. She has to have some solution for me or something to make this even better. So I hope that helps. All right, we got 2 more questions. There's a really good one I'm going to save for the end, so I'm going to do this one. So what's more cost effective, handmade journals at home or outsourcing? I get asked this question a lot, and I actually filmed a video on this that I'll link up in the cards, kind of answering this question a little bit. There really is no good answer for this, unfortunately, and the reason for that is because either way is not really going to be super cost effective. And even with the words cost effective, that's going to be very specific to each person. You know, like you're going to look at what you might think is cost effective is not going to be the same for me. I can't think of what the word I'm trying to say. What you might view as like, oh, that's very cost effective, I might feel is not, or vice versa. So I think the biggest thing I would say is to really just take the time to do the research, to price out the equipment that would be needed to do it yourself at home, and price out how much it would be to actually make it. Like I tell my clients all the time, you can get quotes from companies before you even have your design, as long as you have an idea of how many pages you want. You know, are they in color? Is it black and white? And different things like that. You can get quotes from companies and find out how much something would cost and just get an idea. That could be whether it's companies here in the United States or companies overseas. And then the same thing with the process of if you make it at home, start pricing out the equipment, seeing how much it's going to cost, because either way it's going to even out in some ways. Because if I'm going to be putting up $2,000 to get X amount of journals made from this printer over here, and then I also would be putting up $2,000 to get all of my equipment, let's just say, for example, I don't think it wouldn't cost nearly as much as $2,000, but I'm just trying to explain, like, it could vary, because you might want the top of the line printer versus maybe the more just standard one, or you might want to get a couple of different binding machines versus the cinch, right? You may want to get enough materials so that you can make 500 planners versus just getting enough materials to make 100. So it's really hard to answer that question. If for anyone, if you're watching this and you're really confused and you are wanting that extra help, again, and I'm not trying to like plug my coaching, but that is why I'm here. That's what I do, is to help you specifically answer these questions for your needs, because it's just hard to answer that question because there's so many scenarios and just different things. But honestly, it could really go either way, is what I'm basically saying for cost effectiveness. If you feel like investing in the equipment yourself and having it, that could be considered cost effective, because now you know you can use that and do other things with it, versus once you kind of order this bulk from a company, that's kind of it. But that might be the way to go, you know. So it really is going to depend on so many factors. So both of them have their pros and their cons, and check out some of those videos where I kind of touched on that a little bit more in depth. Okay, so this is the last question, and I really like this one. Okay, so she's saying some really, really sweet stuff in the beginning of this. And she has a couple of different questions in here. So the first one is, how has it been going since leaving the 9-to-5 and committing to your business full time? Are you genuinely happy with your decision in both your family life and business world? Is there anything you miss? And then she's basically just saying, like, hopefully I'm not prying. No, you're not prying at all. I love talking about this kind of stuff. So I actually, just for anyone, if you're new, I left my job in November, and I had been working with them for probably about 1.5 years at that point. And I decided to do that because I had kind of got to a point where it was just, well, by the time that I actually quit, I was put into a different role, and the role that I was in, there wasn't like a ton of work for me to really do. And so it was kind of almost getting to the point where it's like, what am I even really doing here? That was a lot of it. But also my coaching business was taking up a lot more of my time, and it was really providing for my family, you know, way, way, way more than the job that I had. And so that was why I decided to leave, and just to really take a chance to step out, to trust God. And so far, I will say that no, I have not regretted it. I don't see that happening. And I think it's because it's been a long time coming. I've kind of shared in past like story times and things of previous jobs that I had, where one of them I was actually let go, which to this day, we still have no idea why. They never really told me. It was like a whole weird thing. And then I ended up like diving into my stationery business full time. And then when we moved here, I ended up getting another job and did that for a bit, got pregnant with my daughter. They started acting strange because I was pregnant, and then I quit there, and then I dived back into my stationery business full time. And then it was about 1 year after I had my daughter, I decided to get the job that I quit in November, and I did that one. And I guess it's like third time's a charm, I guess I would say. I feel like I'm such a different person from like the first time when I was laid off from that one job. I couldn't even fathom the idea of thinking of working for myself or like anything like that. Like I remember when I was talking to my mom about it, I was like, well, what would I do? And she's like, well, your business, that's what you would do. Like, it's one of those things when in society, we are all so programmed to feel like we have to do something one way. And this goes across the board. But specifically when I'm talking about working, making money, entrepreneurship, a lot of us are just programmed to think one way. We work at a job, we're there for however many years we're there. Maybe you move to a different one. Maybe you stay at the same one. You move up if you can. Maybe you get here and there a couple of increases in your salary, and then you have your retirement plan, and then that's life, right? But the last 2 years have opened me up to so many more possibilities. I don't know if it's because now I've kind of placed myself around more like-minded people that think like me, or what it is, but when you just kind of switch the room that you're in a little bit, you think differently. And so, no, I do not regret leaving my job at all. In fact, I know that it was the best decision for me mentally. It was the best decision for my family. It creates so much freedom for me on a day-to-day basis, just of what we can do. And I'm just grateful to God for it. And the bonus of it all is that I get to do something that I truly love to do. I get to serve and help women, which is ultimately a win-win in my book. So no, I don't regret it at all. It has been one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. Oh, am I genuinely happy, and is there anything I missed? Okay, so yes, I am so happy. Like, at the beginning of 2021, I had said that I was going to quit my job. Like, I had said that as like part of my New Year goals or whatever. And I kept thinking it was going to happen, but then I would put it off and I'll put it off, and it ended up not being until November. So when I tell you the moment couldn't have come soon enough, so I'm very happy for that. But if I had to say something that I missed, I would say, and I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs out here a lot of full-time entrepreneurs can definitely resonate with this in some aspect. It's just that you are running the show. So when you have your own business, especially when you're a solopreneur, which is my case pretty much for the most part. So I run everything through myself. I am doing majority of the tasks. If I run into an issue, or if there's something going on, like if there's a customer service issue, or if something just isn't quite working and I'm not sure what to do, I'm looking at me to figure it out. Versus all of the different employers and bosses and things that I had, it was very easy to be like, okay, here's the problem. Let me go ask you over here, what are we supposed to do about it? Like, that was always the thing. So I think it's definitely an adjustment when you really realize, like, oh, I don't have anybody to really go ask. Now, of course, you can get mentors, you can get coaches, you can go online, you can look up things. But sometimes there's just certain things that happen, and it's just like, in the moment, I'm just like, I really don't know how to handle this right now, and then like people that I know around me, like they don't run their own businesses. They have no idea what I'm talking about. And it's just like, okay, so it can kind of be lonely, in that aspect. And I think it's just important to create your own community, find that community. One of the things that I'm really grateful for that I invested in was the Mom to Mogul network that I'm a part of. Jasmine Chanel is one of my business coaches, and I really love just how real she is. I love the community that she has created, and I really am just grateful for it. I'm grateful to be able, like, if I really, really need to, I can go into the community. I can be like, oh, hey, y'all, what do y'all think about this? Like, what do you think? Like, am I crazy, or does this seem, like whatever the case is, and they are always right there to help. They're there to celebrate, especially because sometimes, again, like I said, it's just lonely. People don't always get some of the things that we as entrepreneurs would be celebrating or being excited about. Like if I, for example, when I sit there and I stay up till freaking 2-3 o'clock in the morning getting my website ready for my planner launch, and then like I sell out of my planners, like certain people, they'll just be like, oh, okay, congratulations, but people that do it, they understand how much work goes into these things. They understand how much brain power and energy and passion you pour into this. And so I guess really, which I know it's not really the question, but I guess the biggest takeaway I would just say is you have to really create your own experience. You have to be willing to put yourself out there and connect with people. And so through that coaching network, I ended up meeting my accountability partner, who I've mentioned her a few times. Hey, Shalina, shout out to Shalina. She is amazing. We both do very different things, but similar in a way that we get each other. And so we check in most weeks to just see kind of where we're at, hold each other accountable, lift each other up. And it's just like she always says the right things that I need to hear, just because I don't really have anybody else in my life on like that close of a basis that just gets me as an entrepreneur. And so I think that would be the only thing I would say that I miss, but not even really miss. I think it's just something that's an adjustment to get used to. And that is realizing that you have to figure things out. You know, you are the person that is the problem solver. And if you're going through things in life, you know, you have to be willing to accept like, okay, either I'm going to take a break and, you know, maybe sacrifice making money, having income, you know, growing, or I'm going to just kind of put it to the side because I need to focus on my business. And that's kind of been just something that I'm working through, but I'm grateful for it. And again, like, it still has been the best decision ever. It's been the best decision. And what I will say, as just to kind of round it out, one of the goals for my Inspire Blueprint community is the same thing, like the same thing that I got out of the community that I'm talking about with, it's more of like for coaches, the Mom to Mogul community, is what I'm creating at the Inspire Blueprint. It's literally women that are starting stationery businesses, product-based businesses, a place to come, ask questions if you have to, you know, if you're struggling with something, be lifted up. We meet regularly. We meet once a month, where you can come, ask me questions, but also just ask the group, you know, see what everyone is doing. And it's just nice when you are around like-minded people that understand you, because there's no feeling worse than you being excited about something or passionate about something, and you go to tell a good friend or even a family member, or shoot, even a spouse, you know, it just depends. Whoever, you go tell this person and you just don't get the response you're looking for, whether, you know, either they just kind of are like shutting it down, they don't get it, they're not saying what you want to hear, and then you're all in your head like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be doing this, maybe this isn't the thing for me, like maybe this is a mistake, when in reality it's like this is just not something that they're well versed in. They don't know about it, they have no idea what you're talking about. And so that is why it's so important to find community. So whether you come and you join the Inspire Blueprint community and figure out if that's for you, or if you find a community somewhere else, I just encourage you to find one, because it makes your entrepreneurship journey so much more enjoyable. It doesn't feel as lonely, and you really feel supported. Like, you really feel supported, you feel seen, and that is just really important. So I think I'm going to end on that. That was the last question. Hopefully you all enjoyed this Q&A. I really had fun doing this one. Again, I'll probably do another one, so definitely make sure you leave the questions down below, and then I'll put those on to the next video. But thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.